Great. So, hello and welcome everyone. Today is March 10th and this is Metal3 community meeting. Just a reminder that this meeting will be recorded and posted later on the Metal3 YouTube channel. If you have any items that you want to discuss today with the community, then please go ahead and add it to the agenda. I will just quickly share the link to the document if you want to add anything, like any items that you want to discuss today. So please also add your name in the attendance list. So like as usual, what we do is that we give some introduction rounds for the newcomers to the Metal3. So if there is someone new on the call and wants to introduce themselves, please use the moment and I will just try to mute my microphone meanwhile. Okay, if there is no one new on the call, then let's get started. So the first item in our agenda for today is from Steve, lazy consensus on the request.
Yeah, sure. So I just wanted to raise visibility of this docs proposal. It's been around for about 2 months and it's had some good review feedback from Doug, Andrea and some others. The implementation has actually already landed. There were 3 related PRs and the last one went in today to the BMO. So it would be nice to land this proposal in the fairly near future. So Doug suggested we could, agree a lazy consensus. I know sometimes we've done that for a full week till next meeting, that would be fine. Or if we consider that it's a small enough proposal and shouldn't be contentious, we could maybe say until the end of this week. But I don't have a strong opinion really. I just wanted to make sure people have a chance to take a look before we merge it.
Great, thanks. Anyone has any questions? I think the proposal has been also approved already. And I was also watching this for a long time. I'm personally okay with even merging it by the end of this week, but maybe we could just give a week of lazy consensus until next Wednesday. And if there are no objections or for the reviews, then maybe we could just merge it.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I mean, if folks can add any concerns they have on there, we can obviously discuss it. And as I mentioned, the implementation has landed, but if necessary, I can always push a follow-up if there are any concerns around the interface. I mean, it's just adding one new annotation, so hopefully it should be fairly simple and it doesn't change any default behavior or anything. So.
Okay. Great. Any questions or any concerns, objections on the proposal or having the lazy consensus? Okay.
Do we need the week for that, or is Friday actually okay? Or what do you first think? If this is already around like 2 months and there's not much anymore, any comments, should we be able to reach it till Friday?
Yeah, like I personally, for me, it's okay because considering that the implementation is like already there, but I don't have the approval or like review rights on the repo, so I can't really say. But personally, for me, even the Friday is completely fine. Just again, since the implementation is in place already, so we could just make a note, like put the comment on the proposal, like to mention that like we would like to have a short lazy consensus by the end of this week. If everyone is okay with this, or we could just put a lazy consensus of a week until the next Wednesday. And if no comments, like we could ask someone to merge it.
Yeah, I mean, either's perfectly fine with me. I just wanted to make sure that, there was visibility of the change and everyone was okay with it.
Okay, then maybe let's give it like a week of lazy consensus. That would be I think the best. And anyways, the other PRs are already in place, so I'll just put a note on the pull request that we've kind of agreed on the meeting to have a lazy consensus of a week.
I did have one suggestion, which is that we've had a few PRs like this which have maybe been up for review for a long time,
Yeah.
and then we've agreed lazy consensus, which is a good process and raises visibility of things. But maybe we should have like a recurring agenda item where we have like you know design discussions that are in progress, so that in this case, for example, it's been up for 2 months, and we have had some discussion on it, which is great. But I'm just wondering whether we could have a recurring item where we kind of call out new proposals and those that need discussion on a regular basis, and perhaps that would mean that we achieve consensus a bit more quickly.
Yeah, +1 for that. Sorry, I was just writing and taking the notes. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that. That really sounds good to me. And actually, once we had this discussion, it was not specifically meant for the proposals and putting the lazy consensus, but it was in general kind of reviewing the long-running pull requests, like implementations or just general PRs, and then the proposals as well. But I would just give +1 from my side for this proposal as well, just to have some occurring meetings to kind of help other folks to get their proposals ready and merge us up. I don't know how to proceed with this. Maybe we could discuss it with other people on the Slack, and I could just put a mailing on the mailing list, just a notice, and if everyone is okay, then we could just maybe discuss or agree on time and the day, or maybe we could even like spend some time during the community meeting at the end, for example, just only for doing that. Because usually, like, since we have community meetings every week that we started recently, we're not really using like the whole 1 hour. We at least have half an hour just left by the end, so we could use that to review maybe the proposals.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was wondering is, we don't necessarily have to review them in this meeting, but maybe we could just have a list that we quickly run through each week. And then, we can identify if maybe something's stuck or waiting on broader feedback, or, you know, uh, this maybe isn't a good example because it was quite a simple proposal and it's just,
Yeah.
it just needs the final LGTM. But sometimes we've had more complex proposals which have taken a really long time to get merged and agree consensus, and sometimes even we'll land the implementation before we've agreed the design. So I don't know, I've just been thinking about ways of maybe improving that process, and a lot of the time it's just kind of getting people's visibility of a bit of work such that they remember to go and take a look at the proposal. So maybe that's something we could try.
Yep, definitely. I'm completely fine with this, and I like the idea. So I understood, like, yeah, it's just a process of going through some of them and just agreeing on the lazy consensus. Yep. Any other, like, anyone who has any suggestions or any comments or thoughts on this proposal that Steve is giving right now? No? Okay, we could try that. Maybe we could try today, or if not today, maybe from the next community meeting, and see how it goes. And I hope that it will help at least to move some proposals a bit faster that are like hanging for a long time. Okay.
I can prepare a list for next week if that helps.
Sure.
And I know that Stephen, for example, has added a specific request for attention to the eventing proposal. So we can do that anyway, but maybe I'll put a list of all of the open ones in for next week and we can quickly run through them.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any questions or comments, maybe on the proposal itself? Okay. If not, then Steve, it would be nice if you could just make the list for the next one, and then we could just try it out.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks.
Thanks. So the next item is for me. Just I'm just bringing up again, as I did last time. So we are planning to remove the Vue Alpha 2 types from the Cap'n 3 repo the next week. So the plan was to have the lazy consensus of 2 weeks. I gave the notice on the mailing list as well and on Slack. So if you think that you might be affected, and if you want to keep it for some time, then just please let us know, either on Slack or mailing list or right now, so that we could extend it or just keep it like for some time. So because we don't know if people are like, if you are using still Vivan Alpha 2. Right now we are supporting Vivan Alpha 3 and Vivan Alpha 4. By supporting means we are doing some checks. We have the CI running for those types, and then we are doing some development mostly on for Vivan Alpha 4. But sometimes I think we are also doing some backporting to Vivan Alpha 3. That I'm not sure, but basically these two are still supported. But Viva Alpha 4, we are not testing it anymore. So, and we're not using it. So this is just kind of giving the notice on this work. And then there is the PR that is actually removing, which is on hold right now. So if there are no concerns on this by the next Wednesday, then we will assume that it's okay and merge it. So any questions or comments on this? Okay, I take it as no. So the next item is from Furkat. Node reuse proposal, end of lazy consensus is today. Furkat?
Yeah, hi. I took this proposal in previous meetings as well, and in the previous meeting we decided to put a lazy consensus of week, and I was wondering if that's okay with the proposal, especially for the reviewers, Andrea or Steve, to merge it if you don't have any more feedbacks or feedbacks regarding the proposal.
Yeah,
For me, it's okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think Andrea and I both act it on there, and so if there's no other concerns, I would say we should go ahead and merge it.
Yeah, it just needs a LGTM, but it has approval already. So, yeah.
Sure, I can do that now.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next item is for me. So last week on Thursday, we had a call with Russell regarding the pro configuration for the Metal Cube. So you probably saw the email thread and on the Slack that we're trying to handle it on City Cloud. So we're basically trying to take the responsibility of the pro. So Kashif, me, and Yanteles, and there were some other folks interested to volunteer and give help. And for that, we need some resources, basically, especially we need some storage. For now, it was Russell who was using his own account to store some logs of the pro. So whenever you trigger the CI, those logs that you see on the user interface, web UI, is stored on that storage, Google storage, basically. Which is his personal account, and we wanted to first check it if it's possible to get it from CNCF. That is still pending, and on top of that, we realized today that we could actually ask for a Docker Hub account. So after having this problem with Docker pull rate limit issues in our CI, we made some workaround by pre-pulling the container images into the virtual machine image. But then today we saw that it's actually possible to request some actually paid account if the project is under the CNCF. And for that, there is a form that we need to fill. And in that form, they're asking basically the ID of the Docker Hub account that we have for our project, which we don't have right now. And that means we need to open one Docker Hub account, even if it's just like a free account for now. That means we need an email address for the MetalCube project, which we probably don't have. So what we saw is that we could, from the Ericsson side, we could ask our administration to create one email address based on EST domain, which will be like metalcube@est.com, for example, and then we could use that email address to create a free Docker Hub account and then contact CNCF to upgrade it to the paid one, for example. So we wanted to just check if everyone is okay with this. We are not yet sure if our administration would be okay to provide us email address, but we hope they will. But just want to check also with the community if it's okay that we're going to use EST based domain, like domain-based email address for this. So anyone has any objections or questions or comments?
Just as a question, I don't know if it's feasible to get mail address for a service account directly from CNCF. Do you know?
That I don't really know, to be honest, because I was checking this list where they're listing all the available tooling and like other resources that they can provide. Maybe there is. I didn't check, but that's a good point. I can try to check that first. That would be nice if we could get an email address directly from the CNCF only for that. But if not, then that means we have to rely on something else. Yeah. I don't. So the answer is no. I don't know for now, Andrea.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe if we can check, it would be nice or interesting to. Thanks.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay. If no, the next item related to pro discussion. So as I said, like last week on Thursday, we had a pro discussion and we had some kind of tasks that we would like to do before the next one. So the next one is going to happen tomorrow. The time is given, so you'll have to convert it to your own. And you can use the same link as you're using right now for the community meeting. And if just interested, just feel free to join. So any questions on this? Okay. If no question, let's move on. The next one is from Stephen proposal on the Metal3 BMC event subscription API.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to highlight a new enhancement I published yesterday. Maybe this would have been a good one for next week's discussion of open enhancements, but I just wanted to point it out and ask for reviews. It's adding support for a new Ironic API that's going to be coming for managing BMC event subscriptions. So this is things like fault detections with hardware devices failing, being removed, NICs being disconnected, temperature alerts. There's a variety of different things available depending on the vendor. So there's a use case from some OpenShift users who want to get near immediate feedback when the BMC triggers certain faults. So yeah, I just wanted to point out the enhancement and ask for some reviews on it. Thanks.
Thanks. Any question on the proposal to Stefan? Okay, if no, then I would also ask the same, like, please take a look and review the proposal if you have time. And then we could also take it during the next community meeting to agree on lazy consensus, sorry. Great, if no question, let's move on to the next one. So it's related to the office hours that we have applied for the upcoming KubeCon Europe. I think it's Europe, yes, virtual event. So we did the application process for that, which is just filling the form, and then we're just waiting for the reply because deadline for submission is 17th of March. So there is still some time for other projects as well. And after that, I think they will just announce the times that we have that we got from them, basically. Yep. So the last time also in the last KubeCon, I think there were a couple of folks from the Metal3 who participated in the office hours. So it's like 45 minutes, 2 sessions separately in 2 different days, I think, where just people would just come and like basically ask some questions about the projects, and we could just have some small slides explaining some basics of the project and so on. So any questions on this?
Yeah, small question. Dmitry here. Do you know if there's any sort of special tickets for maintainers of projects, or should we just buy regular tickets to participate, assuming this gets accepted?
Yes, that I'm not sure, but I think there was a discussion, exactly the same discussion during the previous KubeCon. I can check that and just update you on the Slack because I don't really recall it. But I for sure know that there was exactly similar discussion in the previous KubeCon when we applied for that.
Great, thank you. I can of course buy a ticket, but just want to know
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, I think it would make sense to avoid that if it's provided from the CNCF. But I would assume we don't have to buy the ticket, at least for the maintainers of the project. But I can confirm it after I check it.
Cool, thank you. Let us know, please, because I would like to participate in office hours in case there are any questions, or we can just chat about things.
Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you. So the next one is from Arvinder, review request for the implementation PR, I think.
Hello. Yeah, I just wanted to ask people if they could take a look at this PR. The proposal for this merged a couple of weeks ago, and this PR has been open for a while as well. So just a request, if people could take a look. I've gotten a couple of reviews, but I think a few more eyes would be great. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks,
It would be great actually, Ferus and Arvinder. I think we need this batch for airship kettle. It would be great if we can merge it as early as possible, because we have a release by end of this month, and for that this batch is actually needed, you can say. So can we add some lazy consensus in this batch? Ferus?
I don't know, like I'm not sure about lazy consensus for the implementation PRs, to be honest, but if someone knows, maybe could share that. But what can I do is that I can sign up for reviewing at least. I'll try to spend some time either today or tomorrow. But regarding the release consensus on the pull request implementation, I'm not sure.
Okay, great. Actually, we should make this as a priority for review then. Yeah, this is a great feature, rather.
Yep. Thanks. I was saying similar stuff in Cluster API, that they are moving the labels to the actual node. I saw there was some tests, but never find the time. But yeah, I can try to review it, as I said, today or tomorrow. And then same for others, folks. If you have time, please take a look at the implementation PR.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll spend some time reviewing PRs this week. Other PRs, yeah.
Great, thanks. I think the last item is from Kiran.
Hi guys. So that's not my PR, but it's from our team, and it's been reviewed quite a lot, and we just need the upstream folks to take a look and probably LGTM it.
So I think there was one unresolved area that's maybe worth highlighting on here, which is so the scope of the PR is to adjust the name of the ironic nodes with a namespace prefix in the case where you're running in an environment where you've got multiple namespaces and bare metal hosts in more than one. And I think the concern was what to do on upgrade if someone changes the configuration from a single namespace to a multiple namespace. You know, is it okay to rename the ironic nodes? I think the consensus is probably that's fine, because the names in ironic are kind of an implementation detail, and regular users of MetalCube shouldn't be exposed to that. It is something which developers will probably notice though, but only if they turn on the watch all namespaces behavior. So I think it was more a question of asking for some broader feedback just to make sure it's not going to impact anyone's environments, and also to find out if anyone's already running a single bare metal operator to deal with bare metal hosts in multiple namespaces, because feedback, of real experience with that configuration would probably be valuable.
Okay, thank you. Maybe like if you're saying that there is a potential of like breaking someone that is already using, maybe we could just also give a quick notice on the mailing list. I don't know if it's needed or not.
Yeah, but I don't think there's risk of necessarily breaking anyone, and the idea is to make it work seamlessly on upgrade.
Okay.
Is more that if anyone's paying attention, and particularly if you had automation, test automation, for example, that looks at the underlying ironic node names, they could potentially change. And so, yeah, I mean, we could certainly mention it on the mailing list. I think the idea was to make it as low risk as possible, but it's one of those things where we have two choices really. Either leave the existing ironic host names alone, but then you have an inconsistent situation potentially where you've been running, like in OpenShift, for examtle, now we deploy Metal3 and it only watches one namespace, and the proposal is to have the option to turn it into a multi-namespace configuration. And in that case, you would look at all of the nodes in ironic, and the node names would in some cases be prefixed with the namespace, in some cases not. Yeah. Which isn't a big deal, but it is a bit inconsistent, and it would be more difficult to write automation, for example, if you wanted to go and look at those names. But yeah, the concern was more, if anyone does have existing automation, I suppose that could be a potential source of problems, but I'm not aware of anything in Metal3 devenv.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, I personally, at least, I'm also not aware of that, but like if you're saying there is a need, like I would suggest to send an email, but as you said, it seems it is not really needed, then maybe just a review from the other folks who are interested, who are like participating in the PR review would be okay.
Sure, sounds good. Well, if anyone's got any comments or concerns, feel free to add them, and then we can leave it a bit more time just to make sure that any concerns are addressed.
Yeah. Thanks. Any questions or comments or objections on the pull request or on the idea at all? Okay. If not, then let's move on. Oh yeah, I think this was the last item, but we still have time. And if you think that you want to discuss still something with the community, then please use the moment, because we still have half an hour.
Feroz, I want to understand, is there any bugs we have open? Because I have a couple of people who are interested to contribute to our community. So can we ask, if we have any bugs, at least good first issues or something, I can ask to them.
Yeah, like I'm not sure about the bugs in, for example, in bare metal operator, like we did last time, the triage, but at least in CapM3 report, there are some couple of items that needs to be done. They've been also triaged. Some of them are like in active state, like being worked on, but there are some of them that are not active right now. I will put them as a good first issue maybe, and then people who has some time and interested to work, they would just take it and work on that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same for the BMO. There are a couple of stuffs, but I don't know if someone is working on them or not. But maybe the best would be just to check some issues in BMO and CapM3, and then work on that if it's free.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other things that someone still wants to discuss before we cut the call? Okay, I take it as no. Then thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.